I happen to think that right now in Blitz, it's one of the most open and diverse metas I think we've ever seen, and it's pretty freaking awesome. I'm enjoying the snot out of it. And I think that even though Dusk Till Dawn will come out and shake everything up going into skirmish season, I still think that right now is a really, really good time to be pumping Blitz at your locals. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. Welcome back to Dice Commando and Go Again, a fabulous cast. And you know what? Happy Friday. Hope your week's been going well, and also going into this weekend, I hope you get some fab in with your buddies. Maybe a beer or two before, after, during, however you like to do it. But either way, have a great time just enjoying this weekend. Again, RTNs are over. We've got a little gap before Dusk Till Dawn drops. And it's time to just sit back and enjoy Flesh and Blood. And that's why I think, again, it's time for Blitz. I honestly believe Blitz is in one of the best spots it's been probably ever in this game. If you kind of think back in the Wayback Machine, we had Ira was pretty dominant in the format for a long time, and then Viserai just exploded. And more recently, Oldhim and Icelander, there wasn't a lot you could do about those two. But right now, it feels very much to me like a lot of heroes can come in and win any given armory on any given day. And I think that's pretty cool. And also, as I mentioned in the intro, I think it's a really good time to also be pumping that into your armory. Again, I realize Dusk Till Dawn's going to drop. Whatever we're going to see in the next competitive skirmish season, it's not going to be the same that we see today, but we are, at least in the Northern Hemisphere, headed into summertime, and this is a time that we traditionally start to see drops in attendance at Armory. I'm not saying people don't go, but we start to see drops in attendance. We're between competitive seasons. It's nice outside. People want to go to concerts and go camping and all that, right? Do life stuff. And again, in the Northern Hemisphere, that's what we see. So I think that's why it's a really good time to promote the shorter format first off. And when that shorter format is in a really good spot like it is right now, I think it's really time to be doing that. So what I have up across the screen right now is kind of this isn't really meant to be a tier list episode, but this is kind of a tier list, my tier list kind of. Now, there's really no secret that I think Kano's he's the big bad in the room. But he's not as big of a bad as some of the big bads we've had in the past. Kano's very, very, very strong. I think he's the number one hero without much doubt. But there's a lot of heroes that can take him out. And, you see the top contenders there. Kassai is no joke. Chane, I know DM Armada, I'll go ahead and give him a shout out. DM Armada actually thinks that Chane, or at least he did recently. I know things change, but he thought Chane was one of the better ones. I thought Chane was not one of the better ones. I think he's one of the better ones too. He was thinking Chane was number one over Kano. Completely fair. Aggro there is crazy. You've got Prism, and then you notice I have probably a controversial one, Solitary Arachne in there. I've been jamming the snot out of Solitary Arachne. Home Slice, non-gender specific Home Slice is good. Very good. And can do things against heroes. But you'll notice there's that arrow, and that I think kind of speaks to the next part, which is the any given armory. Emperor, actually Billy won Blitz last weekend at Gongai with Emperor, right? Emperor, if he runs up against the Kano, gonna have a bad game, but he can pretty much burn anybody else down. Dash can do her thing. Bravo's real good into wizards. Rhinar can just sometimes win or lose. Briar, very, very, very good. Ira now with drone, I've seen some pretty inventive like Kadachi 2-for-7 decks. Like all the time 2-for-7 decks, or 1-1 or 1-2, 1-2, 1-5, right? For 2-card hand. Kadachi 1-5. Very strong. Lexi, Lexi can just throw damage, but that Shiver Ice build is really strong. Young, Riptide, and Yoji. Those are the kind of the two exceptions to the best Blitz meta ever. Is both of these are very strong, and I don't want to undersell Yoji on this, or not undersell. I don't want to hit Yoji in this because of course he's playing drone, because like he's a fatigue hero, so why would he not be playing drone? But I think Yoji was really good. It could still really, like if they do take away drone, I think Yoji could still be legit good. It totally could be. Riptide is You know, if he shows up and like the counter hero's not there and people don't take him to time every round, Nourishing Drone Riptide can absolutely do things. And then we've got Azalea, who could just like 15 dominate an arrow. And then Dromai, if she gets the nice board state and has a nice run to the top, she can do things too. So I have them both in the close watchers. Dromai has a really hard time against Kassai. I have to be honest, and I know I'm biased, but I have to be honest. I think it'd be pretty hard pressed to run to an armory these days and not run up against a Kassai, because she's relatively cheap. She's pretty good. Dynamos aren't cheap right now. I think they're like 110 or something like that. But, you know, you can have a pretty decent Kassai deck even with Refraction Bolters. So I think you're going to see a lot of Kassais. You know, if people have the stuff, Chanes will be there. So anyway, we don't need to run down all the heroes individually. There's probably heroes you're playing that you're having success with that aren't on here, and that's kind of the point. Like, things are really good right now. They're really open right now, and what a great time to just try and have fun with your local community, pull people in, get people winning armories who haven't necessarily won armories in the past. It's just a great time. So I'm very excited about Blitz. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I mean, again, depending on your meta, who's in your area, if you're running against 5 Kanos every time you go to an armory, yeah, I feel you, right? I feel you. Or if it's a whole bunch of nourishing BS, I get that too. I really do hope that their experiment has run its course, and when we get to the 3rd or the 5th or whatever it's going to be for the BNS, I do hope they take drone away before we go into this next competitive season. Part of me thinks they probably won't, because part of me is guessing that maybe they think they need it given the new Prism or something, because I still don't understand why they brought it back. So I guess while I don't understand, I'm putting my faith in the higher powers that they're much smarter than we are on that one. So that's why I'm thinking it probably won't go away. But again, we'll get a big shakeup in mid-July. Might feel like January for those in the Southern Hemisphere, I suppose. But yeah, this is really good right now, and I highly encourage you to be pumping it during the lull. And it's really good to try and get not only your experienced players back having fun, shorter tournaments, go have a beer with everybody afterwards, build that community, and have a great time. So anyway, folks, that's my take today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If nothing else, folks, go Commando.